There's a certain kind of person who walks into a room and doesn't demand attention, yet somehow everyone notices them. They don't speak the loudest. They don't try the hardest. They just exist in a way that makes you want to be near them. Like gravity pulling you in without force, without effort, without explanation. You've met someone like this. The person who makes eye contact and suddenly you feel like the most important person in the world. The one whose laugh is contagious, whose presence feels like safety, whose words stay with you long after the conversation ends. And if you've ever wondered what makes someone a charmer, the answer isn't what you think. It's not about looks. It's not about money or status or saying the right things. It's something deeper, something psychological, something that happens in the space between two people when one of them knows how to make the other feel truly seen. Charm isn't manipulation. Real charm is connection. It's the ability to make someone feel valued without needing anything in return. And once you understand the psychology behind it, you'll see it everywhere. You'll see it in the way they listen, the way they move, the way they give their attention like it's the most precious thing they own. Because it is. See, most people walk through life thinking about themselves. What will I say next? Do they like me? Am I interesting enough? That's the spotlight effect. We assume everyone's watching us, judging us, analysing every word we say. And that fear, that self-consciousness, it creates a wall between us and everyone else. But charmers, they've figured something out. They've flipped the script entirely. Instead of worrying about how they're being perceived, they focus on making you feel good. They put you in the spotlight, not themselves. And when someone does that, when they make you feel seen and heard and valued, your brain lights up. Dopamine floods your system. You feel alive around them. That's not an accident, that's psychology. Charmers understand that people don't remember what you said as much as they remember how you made them feel. So they ask questions. Real questions. Not surface-level small talk, but questions that dig a little deeper. What made you interested in that? How did that make you feel? What's been on your mind lately? And then, here's the key. They actually listen to the answer. Not the kind of listening where you're just waiting for your turn to talk. The kind where you're fully present, where you're absorbing every word, where you're genuinely curious about the person in front of you. That kind of listening is rare, and when someone gives it to you, you don't forget it. Because most people don't feel heard. They feel rushed, interrupted, dismissed. But when a charmer listens to you, really listens, something shifts. You feel validated, you feel important, and suddenly you want to be around them more. That's the first layer of charm, presence. But there's more. There's something charmers do without even realizing it. It's called mirroring, and it's one of the most powerful tools of human connection. When you're talking to someone and they subtly match your energy, your tone, your body language, your brain picks up on it. Not consciously, but somewhere deep in your mind, you feel it. You feel synchronized. You feel understood. That's because of mirror neurons, these little cells in your brain that fire both when you do something and when you see someone else do it. It's why yawning is contagious, why you flinch when someone else gets hurt, why you smile when someone smiles at you. Charmers activate those neurons naturally. They lean in when you lean in. They match your excitement when you're excited. They soften their voice when you're calm. And that synchronization, that unspoken dance, it creates intimacy without effort. But here's the thing. It only works if it's genuine. If you fake it, people feel it. The body knows, the energy shifts. Real mirroring isn't copying someone like a robot. It's emotionally tuning into them. It's reading the room, reading the person, and adjusting your energy to meet theirs. Charmers are emotionally intelligent. They don't just hear your words. They feel what's beneath them. They sense when you're anxious, even if you're smiling. They notice when you're uncomfortable, even if you're laughing. And instead of ignoring it, they adjust. They bring calmness when you need it. They bring energy when you're flat. They meet you where you are. That's emotional fluency. And it's magnetic. But charm isn't just about being smooth. It's not about perfection. In fact, it's the opposite. Charmers are vulnerable. They admit when they don't know something. They laugh at their own mistakes. They share their struggles, their doubts, their messy human moments. And instead of making them seem weak, it makes them relatable. It makes them real. There's something called the pratfall effect. It's this psychological phenomenon where competent people become more likable when they make small mistakes. Because perfection is intimidating. Perfection creates distance, but vulnerability that creates connection. When someone shares their flaws, when they let you see behind the mask, your guard drops. You stop seeing them as a stranger and start seeing them as a person, someone just like you. And that feeling, that recognition, it bonds you. Charmers understand this instinctively. They don't try to be flawless. They don't pretend they have it all together. They let you see the cracks, the rough edges, the humanity, and in doing so, they give you permission to be human too. That's why you feel so comfortable around them. Because they don't make you perform. They don't make you prove yourself. They just let you be. And then there's the way they speak to you, the way they validate you without even trying. Most people give compliments like they're checking off a list. Nice shirt. Good job. Generic. Forgettable. But charmers, they notice the details. They see the effort you put in, the thought behind your choices, the qualities that make you, you. They'll say things like, "I love how you always make people feel included." Or, "You have this way of seeing things that no one else does." Or, "The way you handled that situation was really impressive." It's specific, it's genuine, and it lands differently because it's not just flattery, it's recognition. Psychologically, this is positive reinforcement. When someone validates you, your brain creates an association. This person makes me feel good. And over time, that association deepens. You start seeking out their presence because they've become a source of emotional reward. But it only works if it's real. People can smell fake compliments. They feel hollow, manipulative. Real charmers notice the things that actually matter. And when they tell you, you believe them. Because you feel it in the way they say it. That's the power of validation. It makes people feel seen. Charmers also know how to tell a story. Not just any story. The kind that pulls you in, that makes you feel like you're part of it. Because when someone tells a good story, your brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. The same chemical that makes you feel close to someone after a hug or a deep conversation. But here's where charmers do it differently. They don't just talk at you, they involve you. They pause and ask, "Have you ever felt that way?" Or, "What would you have done?" They turn the story into a conversation. They make it a shared experience, not a monologue, and they do it with presence. Full, undivided presence. In a world where everyone's half distracted, scrolling while talking, thinking about the next thing, being fully present is rare. And when someone gives you their complete attention, when they put their phone down and look you in the eye and just listen, you feel it. You feel important. You feel valued. And that feeling, it stays with you. That's what charmers create, moments that matter. But there's one more thing, and this is the most delicate part of charm. The thing that separates the magnetic from the arrogant. Confidence. Charmers are confident. But not in a way that makes you feel small. Not in a way that says, "I'm better than you." Their confidence is quiet. It's the kind that doesn't need to prove itself. It just exists. They're comfortable in their own skin, so they don't need constant validation. They can celebrate your success without feeling threatened. They can admit when they're wrong without feeling diminished. They don't dominate conversations because they don't need to. That's secure confidence. And it's attractive because it's rare. Most people are so busy trying to prove themselves that they can't relax, they can't be present, they can't connect. But charmers, they've made peace with who they are. And that peace, it radiates outward. You feel it when you're around them. You feel safe. You feel like you don't have to perform or compete or defend yourself. You can just be. That's the psychology of a charmer. It's not about tricks or tactics. It's about genuine human connection. It's about seeing people, hearing them, valuing them. It's about being present, being vulnerable, being real. Charmers weren't born that way. They became that way. Through experience, through pain, through learning, that people remember how you made them feel, far more than what you said. They learned that connection is built in the small moments. The eye contact, the laugh, the question, the pause. They learned that the world is full of people who just want to be seen. And when you see someone, really see them, they feel it, and they remember you. Because charm isn't about being impressive. It's about making others feel valued. It's about giving your attention like it's sacred. Because it is. So maybe that's the real secret. Charmers don't try to be liked. They focus on making others feel good. And in doing so, they become unforgettable. Not because they're perfect, but because they're present, because they're real, because they understand that in a world obsessed with noise, sometimes the most powerful thing you can offer is your full, undivided, genuine attention. And that, more than anything else, is what people crave: to be seen, to be heard, to matter. Charmers give people that feeling, and in return, people give them their trust, their warmth, their presence. That's the exchange. That's the magic. It's not manipulation, it's connection in its purest form, and maybe, just maybe, we could all use a little more of that.